Hey people, how you doing? Welcome to episode 155 of the Sports Therapy Association podcast. My name is Matt Phillips, creator of Untitled.com, and as always, this episode is being recorded live on a Tuesday at 8 o'clock on the STA YouTube channel. I'm pleased to say there's already people flocking into the live lounge. If you do decide to come and join us live, then I can bring everything you say and comment and question up onto the screen. For example, first through the door tonight was Penny of Soma Sports Massage Therapy. How are you doing, Penny? Penny is saying, hello everyone, it's been a while, glad to be back. Hope you are all well and thriving. Fantastic, nice to see you back, Penny. Lynn Powman is in here as well. I believe last time I talked to Lynn, you were walking your dog. Beautiful evening to be listening to the STA podcast whilst walking dogs. Exactly, good to see you, Lynn. Sabrina is in here, says hello everybody. Hi Sabrina. Glenn Murphy is here. So Catherine Reimer is here as well, and more people are coming in. So if you are listening to the podcast and you're thinking, actually, I could make 8 o'clock, not every Tuesday, it could be any Tuesday, then do come and join us live. It's really nice to hang out together. And obviously, you can ask the questions to our guests directly. Tonight, as it's the first Tuesday of the month, then what we do every month, first Tuesday, is we have a Ask Us Anything episode, which is where I'm joined by either STA regional reps or STA members to form a little panel. And together we answer questions which have been either emailed into me, which is matt@thesta.co.uk, or I also grab them from the marvellous sports massage training and support group run by our good friend Tracy McClimmon, or McClyman. I must work out which pronunciation it is for that name one day. So before I bring up our panel for this episode of Ask Us Anything, I just want to thank actually our speakers for last month. What a great month. I say it every month, but last month our focus of the month was nutrition. And we had 3 really cracking episodes. They really were so good. Just briefly letting you know, in case you haven't caught up with them, episode 1 or part 1, episode 152, was all about eating disorders with special guest Nick Pollard, who's Director of Family Mental Wealth and co-author of the Oxford Specialist Handbook on Eating Disorders. Amazing story, family story involving a member of the family who was suffering from anorexia and then went on to become a GP, and the 3 of them now together, mum, dad and daughter, are doing some amazing work to raise awareness and get rid of some of the misinformation regarding eating disorders. So well worth checking that out. Part 2, which is episode 153, was relative energy deficiency in sport, commonly known as REDS or REDS, where my special guest was Lucy Gilbanks, ex-international athlete and researcher of REDS. Again, it was another example of somebody who suffered competing at international level from symptoms of REDS, wasn't getting support, wasn't getting recognition, and now is doing everything she can to help other female athletes and male athletes, which was a big part of her studies, recognize and understand that it's not just about the physiological or the physical symptoms. It's also about the psychosocial destruction to life that symptoms of REDS can have, and often that they can be more long lasting. And they're the things which can split up families and cause problems and stop them going out and eating and all these sort of things. So really great episode. And then finally part 3, which was 154, was all about gut health, the gut microbiome, which was last week, and it was with award-winning nutritionist Dr. Lucy Williamson, which again was just such an eye-opener. It was an absolutely incredible episode. Never had the pleasure before of speaking to Dr. Lucy Williamson, a great educator, so passionate about her job. And if you are interested, we did look at the website, and there is again a course. I always feel worried about pushing courses. I'm not pushing them, I'm just raising awareness to them, because it's such a great course to do, to recognize symptoms, where you could just signpost your patients or clients to a GP, maybe a nutritionist, a registered nutritionist, because some of the symptoms could be to do with gut health. And it's one of those things which is becoming more and more evidence-based, and it's got the simplest solutions by just changing your diet a little bit. So if you're interested in the gut health, then go to lwnutrition.co.uk, and you'll see signposted there a tab for the gut health course, and you can get £50 off using the code GUTHEALTH50, which is just GUTHEALTH 50, and you get 50 quid off. And that's just because you're a loyal listener to our podcast. So there we go. It's a fantastic month for nutrition. After tonight's episode, this month is going to be, I'm so excited, this month is going to be about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. something which is, again, in the news. We're going to have a few speakers who are telling about how useful it can be for therapists, for clinicians, how to use it in your marketing, advertising, for writing blogs. Endless, as you can imagine. And that's going to be happening the rest of the month. So there we go. That's what's happening on the Sports Therapy Association podcast. As always, you can check out all episodes on your favorite podcast app if you like listening to it, or you can watch it if you fancy on YouTube, and you can also watch it on the STA website, which is @sta.co.uk. Right, that's where we are. But like I say, tonight it's all about Ask Us Anything. We've got a fantastic panel of STA regional reps and members, and also the founder, Gary Benson, is going to be coming up as well. And as always, Tim Allardyce. So what I'm going to do is bring these people up as we start our Ask Us Anything. Right, number one, in no particular order, there's Gary Benson. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Yeah, fine, thank you, Matt. Hello, everybody.
And let's bring up here. This, for people listening to the podcast, you've got to remember the voices now, because obviously you're not getting a picture. So Simon Webster is here. Hey, Simon, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? You okay?
Very well. Thank you for joining us again. Second time now, becoming a bit of a regular thing for you. So thank you for that.
All right.
Big bad Betty boy, Benjamin Mace-Crossley is in the house.
Yo, 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 yo.
Probably fourth or fifth time now, with award-winning artist Benjamin Mace-Crossley. So thank you very much for joining us again, Benjamin. And also we got down there Ryan Smith and family. I think family's out of the room now, but Ryan's with us. Hey, Ryan. You've got to watch the YouTube video just for that. Great. It was a cross between Ricky Gervais and I think Vincent from Motley Crue. It was an interesting combination.
I thought you had a third hand for a while then as well.
Who says I haven't?
Hey Ryan, how you doing? Thanks for joining us again.
No worries.
And also regular man of the hour here to help us with the difficult questions. We've got Tim Allardyce. Hey Tim, how you doing?
Hey guys, yeah, good. Nice to see you all.
Not looking quite as dapper as last week, but that would be impossible.
Yeah.
Never be able to do that. Right, gang, thanks so much for joining us again on a Thursday night. This is all a Tuesday night. This is all recorded, so I appreciate you giving up your time. Just quickly, for people who don't know you, you got a 90-second elevator pitch to basically tell us who you are, where you are, what your connection with the STA is, and just let our listeners know, yeah, who they can be hearing from. So we'll go around the clock maybe. Gary, would you like to start for those who don't know you?
Yeah, I'm Gary Benson. I'm the founder of the Sports Therapy Association. 10 years ago now. Come September is when this was embryonic, and I started it because I felt isolated when I was a member of an alternative organisation. So I thought, with my contacts and my experience in the industry, I thought, you know, we could probably do it better. And I'm sure you'll all agree that we've got a great team behind us now in all aspects of the podcasts, the Women in Sports Therapy podcast, the regional representatives, the admin team. So I basically talk to people every day. That's my role. Is just talk to people, support them, guide them, and I'm always here to help.
Amazing. There you go. So people listen to the podcast. That's the voice of Gary Benson. And let's have a hi now from Simon Webster.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone is well. My name is Simon Webster. I am part of the STA on the South Coast, Bournemouth. My regional rep, Alex Moore, always kindly nominates me to come on to the Sports Therapy Association chats because he is apparently very busy on a Tuesday, probably laughing at me. I have my own little company called Webber Wellness, where I do sports massage therapy and personal training, freelance, but I also work at Bournemouth University, PTing there, and with the sports scholars, working with massage basically to help optimize their performance, because they get quite a nice little package deal where they work with strength and conditioning, and then they come see me for a bit of treatment afterwards. So yeah, it's going quite well at that moment.
Excellent. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for joining us. And then Benjamin, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself?
Hello, hello. I'm Benjamin Mace-Crossley, regional rep of the Northwest, lower Northwest. It's not the real Northwest. Chester, one side of Manchester area, Liverpool. I run a little business called Repose, as well as working as a PT for a lady called Katie Challoner, based in Chester. And I'm a soon-to-be student of sports injury rehabilitation.
Excellent. Fantastic. Shout out to all the sports rehabbers out there as well, who I've apologised.
Yes.
I'm always saying it's difficult enough saying sports massage therapist and sports therapist. If I have to bolt on sports rehab therapist or sports rehabber out there, it's just, I'd never get anything on Twitter. So yeah, but we do recognise, I'm really excited about you doing that course, Ben, and maybe we can talk about it a little bit later on. It'll be really cool. What else we got? We got Ryan. Sorry, what else? Who else have we got here? We got Ryan.
Wow.
Ryan, say
Rude,
hi.
absolute rude. Yeah, so for me, regional rep east of England. Don't quote me on that one, I think so. Yeah, east of England, and then working rugby primarily with Ilkeston Rugby Club for rugby union, then Derby Elks in the summer, which is rugby league. I have to be diplomatic though, but they're both proper rugby, just keeping it diplomatic there. Yeah, and obviously regular sort of reoccurrence for me on this. And I've got a whole episode dedicated to Let's Be Frank as well, which is my podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we should, before we get to Tim Allardyce, I just want to mention, I think congratulations is in order, isn't it? TV star now.
Not quite. Yeah, so we've been approached. We've recorded a TV pilot, so who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
That is big.
So
That's
who
big.
knows? But yeah,
Mate.
on the way to 100,000 downloads as well.
Congratulations. Yeah, no, really good. Well deserved. I think it's lovely to read the comments because there's massive support for you guys, and yeah, you deserve every single bit of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing it at Therapy Expo as well, which I think is going to be one of our questions tonight, so we can maybe talk about that in a little second. And then left to last, but definitely not the least, regular guru expert. I'm going to have it's at the moment just says Tim. I'm just going to have Allardyce here. Surname. I was just way too informal.
Hey guys,
Tim. How you doing?
how are you? Doing good. How are you?
Very well. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tim, just in case people aren't aware.
In a nutshell, physio, osteopath, health coach, expert in rehabilitation, been to 6 Olympic Games, run software, work half day a week in NHS, and a whole load of other stuff. But yeah, I do all sorts of things.
Amazing. I think that's given enough of a reason why we love having you here to answer some of the more difficult questions. Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us again, Tim. Right, gang, really good to see you here, 6 of us. I think actually looking at the comments, don't forget, if this is the podcast, then if you join us live, you can leave comments and questions. I think Nikki Mansfield, who's in the house tonight, has summed it all up basically by saying, would you look at that? It's 𝐬𝐤 right there on the STA screen.
I think I'll say my wife would definitely disagree with that one.
That's the kind of level we're talking about. If you're listening to the podcast, then yeah, basically 𝐬𝐤 is, yeah, it's not bad. We can go with that. Right.
Faces for radio.
Exactly. Faces.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Right, we've got a lovely selection of letters, emails, going back to the 80s there, letters we sent in. Yeah, Barry took here. We've got a lovely load of emails that have come in. Again, if you do want to send emails for first of next month, which will be August, then you can email them to matt@sta.co.uk. What I'm going to do, as always, is I'm going to bring them up onto the screen as well for those of you listening in the live lounge. You'd like someone to read, and then we'll just free speech people. Whoever's got a bit of experience in there, then go for it. So I shall bring up the first of the questions for tonight, which I've seen in a few forums. I've put it on the screen there for people to have a little look. Anyone going to Therapy Expo this year? Is it worth it? And I've put it up there because it's just everywhere at the moment, because Therapy Expo is happening in mid-November. I can't remember the exact dates now, 20-something. But 2, it reminds me that some people have never been there yet, which freaks me out, because when you're there, you're just surrounded by thousands of people and you think everyone knows about it. So it's nice to be reminded that not everyone is in our bubble. So who wants to start? Anyone here going to Therapy Expo this year?
Yeah, I'm going. We've been with Therapy Expo since its inception in Manchester. I didn't exhibit there, but I attended as a delegate for 2 years. Started exhibiting 10 years ago when the STA was founded. Since then, we've grown exponentially. We now have our own theatre with keynote speakers. We have a large stand where you can meet the STA team, and this year we've also got an area where you can meet our speakers. So once they finish, we can have breakouts and go and ask questions of the speaker, so we don't block the aisles like we have done previous years. The only time we didn't go was during COVID. A little bit apprehensive about going back post-COVID, but it was really good. It grew again last year. The content looks amazing for this year. And for those of you who are STA members, I have posted a special discount code for our members in the members only portal on Facebook and in a newsletter that's been sent to everybody's registered email addresses today. So that's a unique price point that we get, and that will be maintained until the event. But yeah, really looking forward to it this year. I haven't put together the team yet, so I will be sending out some kind of a communication to ask for people who want to get involved on the stand again this year. But yeah, really looking forward to it, and it's a great 2 days for networking. There's lots of content there. There's something for everybody, no matter what your job title is.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when I see these comments, I will reply and I say, right, first of all, I'm biased because I'm organising the speakers for the STA Theatre, and we're very much invested in it in terms of not money-wise, well, spending in terms of invested spending-wise without any return, but it's a case of just we are invested in helping deliver the best quality kind of evidence-informed information and getting the industry up to scratch, and that's one of the things. Hats off to Therapy Expo for asking for the last couple of years. It's the second year they've had the panel for advice, is it, Gary, which you've been on?
Yeah, it is the second year, and you know, if we, I know it's at the NEC in the north. There used to be something similar at Excel in London, and that was the Elite Sports Therapy Show, which was kind of taken over and merged with Elevate. But we went to Elevate last year, and it wasn't really very therapy specific. It was more fitness industry. So we didn't exhibit this year. We didn't even attend as delegates. They are hoping to get more therapy specific content for next year, but we'll see what happens. But Therapy Expo is the one for me to go to.
Brilliant. Simon, you spoke, actually, you were on the podcast last year, weren't you? Was it your first time at the Expo last year, and then you came on and spoke around?
No, it was second year last year. So I will be going again this year, because it's just one of those opportunities that as a therapist you get to go to. And there's so much content that it's actually really quite hard to digest, but you can just take little snippets away. So I think most of the speakers or lecturers, or whatever you want to call it, they're on for about 30 to 45 minutes. And like I said, it's a lot to take in, but if you just take little snippets away, it's just so beneficial. I tried to plan out which ones I was going to go to, and it was quite difficult. And I ended up going to Dr. Gary Mendoza's talk twice. There were different chats, but just to try and take little bits away from what he was saying, because it just really helped in the way I approach. So is it worth it? 100%, 100%, especially with the STA association with it as well.
Excellent. I love that idea, going to see the same person twice just to take it all in. And that's a real good message for people, because it was a bit of a panic, isn't it? You see so many speakers, you think quantity is going to be the answer. The more you can see, the better you're going to be. But from speaking to people last year, a lot of people were just, they got back, woke up on whenever it was Monday and thought, oh my God, I don't remember much of that. It was all a blur. You know, so maybe it's better.
Didn't you do the same talk 3 times or something, Matt?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably whenever there was a gap, I was in there. Somebody was ill, so I went to the main theatre and delivered something about gait analysis. That was interesting. Yeah.
I will say about going to see speakers, though, it's something that Stevie Barr mentioned when I was last on the podcast, is that if and when you do go to Therapy Expo, go see the people that you don't necessarily agree with.
That's really good.
Because it just really just does challenge your perception. And if you walk away thinking, no, I think that, you know, what you've learned is the right way, or they might actually say something where you think, I agree with that. So it's an opportunity as well to see those people that do kind of challenge your beliefs, your perceptions of what you believe sports therapy, whatever your practice is. So yeah, definitely go see everyone as much as you can.
Yeah, great bit of advice.
I'll use this time just to do a little bit of plugging. So I'll be, I think so anyway. She did send me a message a couple of days ago asking if I'd like to rejoin her again this year. So hopefully I'll be joining Anna Maria on a hands-on hub. So this will be the second year that she's running the hands-on hub, which was, I don't know if you guys called on there. I know you did, Matt, but it was a great success. Having something a little bit more sort of interactive and what people can get involved in, and showing the wonders of what therapeutic touch actually can do for people.
I mean,
Yeah, it's really good, really
So-
good. And the layout this year is going to be really cool because we've got this horseshoe thing going on now where we've got us down one side and then the speakers lounge in the center and we've got the hands-on hub on the other. Because together,
Yeah.
pretty good message to be delivered, and we're all kind of working together and on the same page with the same efforts. And so yeah, really excited. Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, so for me, it was like obviously my first year there was just go into the events anyway, but as a regional rep as well, I think it was really good to interact with members from sort of east of England and that sort of networking where you normally wouldn't probably get that. For me, I found that really valuable. Yeah, and I think I'm taking a step up this year, which is a little bit of a bit nervous about this one coming up. So
You're always nervous, mate. That's part of your charm and success, I think. Both of you, it's great to see. It's that modesty, and then and then you're in the line. Yeah, it's great. Don't ever stop being nervous. I think it's a great trait of yours. No, really exciting. You're going to be speaking in the STA Theatre again, which is really exciting, and yeah, looking forward to it. And then Tim Allardyce, you've been there a few years. I mean, you've been involved in conferences pretty much all over the world, haven't you? So anything to talk about Therapy Expo, which you like?
I think Gary and I share something. I think we were both at Manchester for the very, very, very first one. Trying to remember the lady's name that ran it, but we were exhibiting in Manchester.
Lisa Reynolds, maybe.
Yeah, Lisa.
Was it
Lisa
Lisa?
Reynolds,
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she I think she
Ex-physio.
passed it on. She sold it to the team now running it. So yeah, planning to be there. I just need to figure out where we're going to be based in terms of stand and negotiate with Therapy Expo in terms of where's best based. Yes.
I know where you are, Tim.
Oh,
I know
brilliant.
where you are.
Could you please negotiate with Therapy Expo a really good price? Because I think the rate they sent me was extortionate.
The thing that we had, the idea that we had last year when we were talking, Tim, was to create that sort of village square atmosphere.
Yep.
So what we've done is we've got that back wall. There's yourself, the STA stand, and then the hands-on hub all together in sort of one area, sort of adjacent to the STA theatre. So we'll chat soon anyway.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I'm up for that. Super.
It's going to be great. And in the lead up to it, like we did last year, so starting probably around mid-September or something, we'll make sure that we have some of our guests in the STA Theatre on the show, so you can get a little insight into what they'll be talking about to help make your decision making a little easier. Remember, it's like everything. Don't ask somebody else who you should go and see. Just look at the content, see if it applies to you. I think that's something that Tim's spoken about a lot when it comes to, choosing what to do, and see what's good for your business plan, and then make a decision. Just because it works for one person doesn't necessarily mean it will be good for you. So yeah, it's going to be great. So there'll be a big lead up to that, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you face to face again. Right, let's bring up question number 2, because we've got some lovely ones to get through this evening, if that's all right. Q&A, so let's bring up question 2. Okay, nice functional question. Here we go. So on the screen, there's the short version: electrical hydraulic massage tables that won't break the bank. And the full question, which was taken from Sports Massage Training and Support Group, Darren Carroll, was: I'm in need of a sturdier massage table, and I'm looking at the electrical hydraulic rising ones. Do you have recommendations for less expensive ones, and ideally sites that offer finance? Who's got experiences in tables?
Yeah, go on, Gary, you first.
No, I was going to say that STA members, we have a working relationship with TrimBio or TrimBio. And whenever I see this sort of question, I always try and tag Simon in, because they do very good deals on reconditioned plinths, both hydraulic and electric. They have the new ones as well. But I got an electric plinth, when I first started, by going to an expo, not dissimilar to Therapy Expo, but on a smaller scale, and at the end approached one of the suppliers and said, would you sell your couches? And we bought, a friend and I bought 3 couches. We sold one, which covered the cost of ours, and I've had an electric couch now for 20 years, nearly 18 years. I've had to have a bearing replaced, and I've had to have the motor reconditioned. They are expensive if they need repairing, so I know there's a lot of comments about buy one off eBay for 100 quid, but if something does go wrong, There's no warranty, and of course we have to have everything safety tested now in clinic, so that's an important aspect of it. But yeah, 𝐸𝐵𝐼𝐸 for STA members, there is a link in the website.
Nikki Mansfield's added there in the comments from the live lounge. 𝐸𝐵𝐼𝐸 are always at Therapy Expo. They sell refurbished second-hand electric and hydraulic couches. So there's a nice little heads up from Nikki. Thank you, Nikki.
And my last 3 couches were refurbished couches bought from 𝐸𝐵𝐼𝐸 as well. So I think we're all on that same pattern of messaging. I would just add, if there's been a major event in the UK, they'll often buy treatment tables, and you might be able to get in touch with the organising committee to buy them cheap after the major event is finished, like the Commonwealth Games or the London Olympics. We bought 3 after the London Olympics, electric couches. We always use electric, and so if there's a major event, you can often tap into things they're shifting, because they sell everything cheap at the end of a few weeks after an event.
Great advice. What about some of the advantages or disadvantages, or does anybody here prefer using, for whatever reason, traditional, put it up yourself, leave it up kind of thing, or is everybody sold into one of these two?
No, so I've got I use a portable one, but it's a quite high standard portable one. We got it from Massage Warehouse website. It's an Earthworks Touch Plus, I believe, and to me it's a dream. It's super comfy. I can stick it in a bag if I want it on my shoulder. I mean, if I'm walking from one side of a festival field to another, 15 kilos on the shoulder can become a bit heavy and painful, a bit of a drag at times. But no, it's top quality, super comfortable. Stays exactly what it needs to be. There's no squeaking, no wobbling. It's perfect.
I think from what I've read, that's part of the difference, because I've got a little screenshot here. I just did a search on Google for couches to look at prices and things, and you can see just from the 8 or so, we can't see if it's in the podcast, but the prices can range from £350 up to £2,000 and more. Such variance, and I was just wanted to check, what some of the differences are between them and what you're losing out with, and there seems to be a lot of factors involved. But I think it's like any couch, isn't it? If you go for the cheaper one, it's just not going to be as comfortable for the client. You're not going to have as much variability in terms of moving it as it's segmented. So you really got to look and think about, again, I suppose, your own business and see what your clients are going to need. Are you going to be propping them up, putting them down? Are you going to be raising the height much? I think one of the big ones was how high it goes. I'm 6'6", so if I've got a couch which only goes up to kind of 5, something low, then it's not going to be good for me, and it's not really useful. And also the other one I saw, which was interesting as well, and it made me think, was if you're doing seated work and the person wants to have their feet under the table or something, or that's another thing. If you've got loads of junk there and it just blocks out feet and things and body parts, then that can be a big difference as well, if you like getting people in different positions rather than just lying down. So
yeah. So also part of that question as well, Matt, was how if you can pay off on finance and whatnot. A lot of websites now on the internet, there's that you can pay with Apple or Google and stuff. There's also a new one which is Shop Pay, and I know the Massage Warehouse has the ability to shop pay on there, and that splits the costs into 3, 6, 9, 12 months.
There's a similar thing called 𝐀𝐬𝐤, isn't it? I think it's 𝐀𝐬𝐤 it's called as well. So there's plenty of options out there. I mean, we got a couch at the rugby club. I think it was a hydraulic one, a few years old, but it cost £200 to get it serviced and refurbed and whatnot. And we got ourselves a good couch. So, there's plenty of options out there, but it's really what works for you.
Great stuff. Simon, any input? What do you use?
Well, we use hydraulic at the university, and we've just had them reconditioned, and it costs a little bit to get it redone. But for the sake of comfort for your clients, it's a couple of £100 that is always worth spending. Just to kind of pro for the Therapy Expo, again, the couch I have at home is a portable one, which actually won at Therapy Expo, so it's another reason to go to that. But one of the stands managed to get a free couch out of it. It's one of those portable ones which maybe doesn't come up as high as I would like it, but at the same point, for the sake of £350, I'm quite happy just to have that slight lean forward.
Very cool. Penny has added here, saved my back a lot of pain since I upgraded to electric from a portable type. There's so many factors, isn't there? Your health, the patient's comfort, whether you're going to be carrying it across the festival.
She's also trying to sell it then.
Say again?
No, I can actually tell you the story behind Penny's. She bought one from Alex Hall with I think it's Therapy Warehouse or Therapy Empire. And then she won one last year at the Sports Massage Academy's annual conference. And so she won one. So she's got the new one, and now she's selling her other one.
Interesting.
I think it also depends, Matt, on the location you work in. If you're a mobile therapist, it's not appropriate to have a hydraulic or an electric one. But also, some people work in a multidiscipline setting, and if you've got 3 or 4 therapists working from the same room, having something that's height adjustable with ease is extremely beneficial. 𝐀𝐬𝐤 do a reconditioning service, and the bit that Ryan mentioned, Klarna and PayPal also do those stage payments.
Yeah,
that's it, not Kona. Where did I get Kona from?
Klarna, but Klarna's like the devil for me if I'm buying stuff for my motorbike or something. Everything can be split into 4. It's like, it can be a bit of a danger one as well if you're not very good at thinking ahead. Yeah. Suddenly it's reduced down to little monthly payments, and it's like, but every month for 4 or 5 months. But anyway, no, good advice, gang. Really good.
Those Garmin watches don't come cheap, do they?
Exactly. Right, okay, let's go to the next question, if that's okay with you guys. We've got a lot to get through. So next one, this is a very interesting one. I'll put it up on the screen. Short version is services other than sports massage to help boost bookings. The long version on the website was, again, it was anonymous, from the Sports Massage Training Support Group, which is quite nice on Facebook. If you don't want your name to be out there, you're just asking a question, you can put anonymous. Does anybody offer any other services other than sports massage to help boost bookings? I'm looking at adding some strings to my bow to help get me to the 20 hours a week target.
Conversation. Let's have conversations with your clients is the biggest one. For does your client need cups? Do they need acupuncture? If they don't, then there's no point spending that money. Have a quality conversation with your clients. They'll come back, keep coming back. Become a master of conversation.
Is that something you can offer? How do you or do they not realize they need that until after they've been with you for a while, maybe?
It's that conversation. It's just talking and throughout all the sessions, right at the start as you mean to go on. And I think if you can crack that, then you'll fill that 20 hours quite easily.
I think with this question, Matt, it's a question I think that's come from somebody who's a new therapist and not an experienced therapist. And the mistake, if I may, in the question is that people don't come and see us because we offer services. People come and see us because we offer an outcome. Now, it's no good listing kinesiology, taping, cupping, sports massage, all of the other passive modalities, which by and large do the same thing of modulating pain so that we can encourage our clients to move more easily. So it's about how you make a connection. And I think I did answer this one and said, how do you make a connection with your clients? What's your ideal client? What's your chosen demographic? How do you make that connection? So I would say that's a typical answer from a question from somebody who's chasing CPD. And unfortunately, the industry is commercially driven. You pass your level 3, 4 or 5, whatever you're doing, or your degree, and straight away you're bombarded with emails, commercially driven emails from cupping and kinesiology, taping, etc. So I would say just write some aspirations down, write some interest down in a book, and pursue those rather than spending money on courses and modalities that you may not get a return on your investment.
Wise words. I like it.
I mean, if I could just add that, I think if people are, like you say, chasing, for me, because I'm doing a movement therapy degree with Mace-Crossley, for me, that's just personal education because I want to be a better therapist. And I think that's something that clients will invest in you if that you are working on your own education. No, you're not necessarily providing for them. You're doing something for you that's going to make you generally better. My outreach is that now when I'm on social media, I do a little bit of what I'm learning, but I'm also just posting about the sports I do. So I do running, I do paddleboarding, I play cricket. So the people that are now coming to me know that I have a relation with certain types of sports like running, paddleboarding, and cricket. But my education grows not related to those sports, but just generally. So it all kind of fits in together. So I think people will invest in you rather than you trying to find something and invest in for them.
Yeah, agreed. You could also jump on a little bit of a conveyor belt in a sense of, you know, if you're into running and if you want to be working with runners, then why not get yourself a coaching qualification and train them, run them into the ground, and then get them on the bed. And you know, it's just a nice little sort of all. Everything rolled into one, basically.
I think it's thinking out the box.
It's
thinking out the box, isn't it? With sort of some of them, it's just because your neighbour does cupping doesn't mean you've got to do it. Be different.
Tim, I can sense that. I can feel the energy coming off you as your light illuminates your face. What are you going to add?
I can't add a lot more to what the others have said. I mean, I agree with what they say. Yeah, yeah, nothing else to add.
Yeah, so it's not so much. Yeah, it's like Gary summed it up, isn't it? Sometimes you think I've got to add more. I've got to have that. The menu on my website needs to be longer and longer and longer. We do this. We do this. We do in-hair massage. We do hot stones. We do this. We do acupuncture, and that's sometimes not the answer to it, is it?
The danger of offering too much is like going into a bike shop. When there's too many bikes for sale, you're arm and ahhing what you actually want. So it's horses for courses. I think that you know. Don't be too wide and don't be too narrow, and just figure it out. Work with your clientele list and the areas that you're interested in, like the running or the weight training or whatever.
Excellent. Okay, great answers, gang. Thank you so much. People who are in the live lounge, obviously you can feed your own experience and answers to this as well. I do keep one eye looking on there. I think you're still talking about tables, so I'll leave you to it. I'm glad you got over the chat about Anne-Marie as well. You know, she will see that. Anne-Marie is everywhere, like one of you said, eyes everywhere. So yeah, watch out what you say. Anyway, right, let's go on to the next question, and I shall bring that up now. Okay, so short version is, this is question 4 for this evening. Is there any age limit to children we can treat? Do parents need to stay in the room? And the full question was, I had an inquiry to treat a child, not sure of their age yet. I've treated 12-year-olds upwards before, but just wondered if there's any age limit to who we can treat. I'm level 5 qualified. Do the parents need to stay in the room as well? And that was from Sports Massage Training Support Group.
There is no legal age limit. I've been looking to this recently. I had a similar conversation. In fact, I spoke to you, Gary, as well, didn't I, briefly? I had a personal training client who was coming in, and she was 14, and I was in and ahhing thinking, is this legal? Is it not? Because you kind of hear you have to be 18 or over or 16 or over. And I think even with a UKA athletics run leader, they kind of say 16 plus. But if you dig deeper into the rabbit hole, there's actually no legal requirement or no legal age limit whatsoever, whether that's in training or physical therapy, manual therapy as such. There's obviously, we should really be doing a safeguarding course, you know, if we're going to be dealing with children, because you need to have a little bit of understanding of how their bodies may differ as they're growing. And if they're being forced or being pushed into some sort of sports, and maybe that's causing any sort of physical ailments through any sort of pressure and whatnot. And then obviously you do need parental signed consent of someone of 18 plus, and technically they stay in the room as well, just to be a chaperone. But apart from that, there's no actual legal limit that I can find anywhere.
I think for me, it's whatever you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable seeing with somebody 18, don't feel pressured to do it. If it, it's using your common sense, and if you're comfortable doing it, do it. If you're not, do you know what? They sign and post somebody that might be comfortable.
Yeah.
If what I would say, Matt, is that for those people who might be listening to the podcast who are not members of a professional association or a regulated industry, they're the ones on the sticky wicket, in my opinion, because the ones that I've mentioned will have a code of conduct, and the code of conduct will cover the legalities of treating minors. As you know, we've done a couple of web chats with Angie Jackson. You know, kids are not mini adults. We have to treat them differently. My history was coaching 6 to 16-year-olds, so I was brought up with that sort of demographic, and I've had no problems treating children. What I would say is that the legal age of responsibility is 14, so anybody over the age of 14 could actually sign the consultation form themselves.
Okay.
I always ask them what their age is. I ask them if they would be happy to sign the form themselves, whether they understand, you know, the whole process going on. But I always insist on having, you know, a parent or guardian present, and that's not just for their safety. That's for my safety as well. I don't want them accusing me. I had a family member who'd a gymnastic who'd got a groin strain and wanted to come to see me. I said, well, yes, but you've got to bring your mum. Oh no, to trust you. I said, it's not about trust, it's about my protection and your protection. And one of the problems we have as an unregulated profession is it's very difficult to get the relevant DBS checks that are portable from sport to sport. When I had cricket, it used to be called something else. We did CRB checks, didn't it? They weren't portable. So if you're working in football, you had one for football. You're working in cricket, you had another one for cricket. And this DBS was supposed to stop that. But I'm hearing weekly of problems with people, you know, unable to get an advanced DBS check, which is a prerequisite for a job. Well, it's the employer's responsibility, the umbrella body, to get those checks in place for you. But generally, as Ryan said, if you're comfortable treating smaller clients, then that's a decision for you to make. But you have to risk assess. You know, have you got the requisite knowledge and understanding of the mini athlete, rather than treating them as a mini adult, as Angie explained on her web chat.
Great advice. Yeah, and like Gary said, if you are working with children, then it'd be great to check out the free CPD of chats we've had with Angie Jackson Physio, and also go to her website and have a little look. Great wealth of information. Yeah, we've got Sarah Jones here. It says, I've treated a 5-year-old. I often find that when it comes to treating younger adults, then often it turns into you treating the parents, which I think is what Benjamin alluded to. You know, when you've got a real young athlete who's coming to you for a sports massage, it's probably not something they said, like, oh, can I go for a sports massage, please? You know, it's probably the parents saying, right, you've missed football 2 times in a row now, we've got to do something to you, right? You know, and you end up, and that's really tricky, isn't it? When you kind of don't want them to be in the room, because you can see in the child they're giving you this answer, like, did it hurt on the pitch? No. And you can see they're like shaking almost, and they want to say yes. But have anybody else found that working with kids, it's the mum and dad or the carer who's kind of the barrier to progressing sometimes?
I think Matt, it's also a marketing opportunity. And what I've historically done is say to the mum or the dad, look, I'll give a massage to this leg. I want you to copy what I'm doing and give a massage to this leg, to the other leg. And they get interested in it. And they always invariably say, oh, I must book in for a treatment for myself. So you get them on board. They become a regular client for you. And building that therapeutic alliance with the family, it opens up other family members coming as well. So, you know, it's definitely a business opportunity.
I think whatever which way you go with it as well, you've got to explain it to both parent and child in such a way that they both clearly understand.
Yeah, definitely. And that'd be a totally different conversation. It's just tricky sometimes. What you want to say is, you've got to phrase it very carefully, because sometimes the parents are to blame. When we're looking at an overload-related injury, the parents are the ones who are pushing it, or the child feels indebted because, you know. But anyway,
exactly.
It's a tricky one. Tim,
may I just mention so just looking at this from a legal perspective, so this is really fascinating. This whole thing, and it's something that we've spoken a lot about in my organisation. And so legally, you are allowed to treat children, and you don't have to have consent of a parent to treat a child. You don't have to have written consent of a parent to treat a child, and you don't have to technically have a parent present. And from a legal perspective, that actually comes from something called the 𝐸𝐿𝐼C competence. Now, the 𝐸𝐿𝐼C competence was case law back in the early 90s, I think late 80s, where it actually transpired that that a particular mother took the health authority to court because I believe, don't quote me on this, a GP had prescribed a contraceptive to her daughter who was underage. She was 14 or 13 years old, and the mother made a complaint and said, you should never have even seen my child, and given her contraceptive. So the young girl had gone in to get the pill, and the GP acted in her best interest to give her the pill so she wouldn't risk getting pregnant. Mother disagreed with it. It went to court, and it was called the 𝐸𝐤𝐫 competence. So what the 𝐸𝐤𝐫 competence is that if the child has competency to understand the treatment process and can make their own decision-making processes about what medical treatment or therapy treatment they are wanting to have, then that is then that's part of a consent procedure. So technically, they don't have to have an adult there. However,
That's interesting.
Yeah, the big however.
that's the legal side. I think most people would probably feel more comfortable having a parent present.
I also think that in that scenario that Tim talks about, we are talking about regulated medical professionals. We are not a regulated medical profession, and therefore I stand by our code of conduct, which says even though they may be competent to make that decision, it's always safer to have either an over 14-year-old signing or the parent signing and remaining present.
Yeah, it's safer. It is safer.
Great stuff, guys. Really good. Great question. Whoever sent that in, Mr. Anonymous or Mrs. Anonymous, but it's a really good question. Hopefully that's going to cast some light on it. Right, so let's go for the next one. I'm bring up these questions now. We are already at questions 5. Here we go. Right, so short version, what systems do people use to develop leads? Again, it's something we've touched on before, but I've seen it a couple of times in different forms. The full question was essentially that, what system do people use to develop leads? I'm looking at a few, but unsure of the pros and the cons. It was an anonymous one, again, from the Sports Massage Therapy and Support Group.
I'll start if you like, Matt. I'm not a big fan of technology and websites for lead generation. I think, in our industry, we're selling ourselves. We're selling ourselves as an outcome to a problem that somebody has. So I would suggest that you go and you talk to people. It might be the running club. It might be the local history society. It might be the local WI. Go and tell them about your skills and what you do and how beneficial your skills can be. Because we want them to be interested in you, the person. And I feel that if you use, and I know this is going to be covered later, but if you use social media marketing paid for, you use Google Analytics and marketing paid for, then there tends to be a lack of personal touch there. And I think as we are personal therapists, I think that personal touch is far more important than paying somebody X amount per year for lead generation. Go out and get them yourselves. Solid
words. Benjamin, Ryan, what's your experience? Have you personally found anything that surprised you? You thought, wow, that's been a really good lead generator.
At the early days, I was trying to sign up to everything to get people in through the door. Treatwell wasn't that bad. They just take 30% and they do sort of the advertising for you because it's in their best interest. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Apart from that, it's just as Gary said, it's going around, going to sports clubs, going to universities, colleges, just me going to those what do you call it's a certain sort of marketing, isn't it? Where all professionals sit around the room and they all have tea and cake together and networking. Network marketing.
Yeah. Again, for me, it comes down to having conversations. I mean, like you've touched on, it's mastering that conversation not only for your clients but for approaching people. One I would say avoid is things like the Groupon vouchers, because you'll just get hunters there that want 5 massages for 20 quid that won't come back and repeat clients. Don't be scared to price yourself exactly where you need to be. If people are charging £40 and you want to charge £45, you might get a few less clients, but identifying the client that you want to work with, that gets you excited to get up to go to to do a massage or to run an injury management clinic or to run a coaching session. find who you want to work with, and 9 times out of 10 that one person will know another person like them, and they'll go see this person. They know what they're on about, but it all comes down to being a master of conversation.
Again, wise words. I like it. Mr. Allardyce, lead generation. This is a big one for you. Come on now, hit me with it.
I just think word of mouth, market yourself. I've never used lead generation services, so I'm not really pro them. I just think just promote yourself through word of mouth, through networking.
Yeah, it's something's being lost, isn't it? Going down to your local club, and you think you're going to reach so many people with social media, and in some respects you can, but you're missing out just going down to Park Run. If you want to get more runners, why need down Park Run? Maybe just going around a little bit more regular, turning up at the end when people are tired and having a coffee and just sitting around and with your sports therapist jacket on or something. There are some slightly more obvious things you do, which maybe social media are eclipsing and giving you the impression of, oh wow, 500 people have looked at this, but yeah, are they people who live near your business? Or probably not. Half of them aren't even in the country. So, yeah, which kind of go on. Okay.
So these are the things that we support the STA members with on our mentorship scheme, and with Scott's fortnightly coffee evening chats. This topic comes up all of the time. We're always giving ideas. We have other members saying, "Well, this worked for me," and what might work for one person might not work for another. But it's having that plethora of ideas, so you can sort of give them all a go and see which ones are most successful.
Yeah, it's true. And it is things which, again, obviously this is the Sports Therapy Association podcast, so we're going to big ourselves up, but that's because we're proud of what we're doing. But this is where your professional association should be giving you free support and advice through things like this and coffee chat mornings and just communicating with other therapists. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Talk to your fellow therapist. What's worked for you? Might be the person just down the road from you. Don't see them as the enemy. Think of them as, what's worked for you? Let's share something. Maybe you've got some clients who I could look after, and blah blah blah. So yeah, who would have thought the answer was communication? Well, I've got a few other questions and only 6 minutes left because we have talked extensively. What shall I bring up? Maybe what ties in with, this is a nice question. Yeah, I'm going to use this one because I did see it and I did tell the person which we'd have a little chat about it. So I'll bring this one up now, and it's probably something which does affect people because we're all, at some point, we've all used gift vouchers and things like that. But the question here was, if you have used gift vouchers, maybe we can talk first about the usefulness of gift vouchers, but if you have used gift vouchers, then how long do you respect them before they run out? And we've all had it before. Someone comes in with been through the wash, 6 months old, I've got a gift voucher, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize they're still in circulation. So yeah, experiences, people. Have you got a clear cut-off time? Do you put it on the voucher, or Benjamin, you're nodding away?
Whack it on the voucher, 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
Chase them up. Yeah, 3 months, and then just chase them up. I never really sold that many, so I kept a link. Usually people would contact me first to buy one, so I'd have their details, and I'd just chase them up and say, are you ready to cash that in? Nice and easy. Yeah, there was once or twice that maybe ones went over, but they never really chased it up. It was just, maybe it was bought for a gift, and then the person just never really wanted it afterwards. And it just never
over 60% of gift vouchers are never redeemed. It's important to put on it, if you're printing them, that it doesn't have a cash-in value, and expiry dates are not legally enforceable. If you gave somebody £50 for Christmas, it's up to them when they spend it. But if you gave them a gift voucher for £50 for a treatment, you can't really say, well, you must spend it in this amount of time. But what I would say is Ben's doing exactly the right thing. If he's got a 3-month expiry, before that runs out, get in touch with the person. It's difficult if the person is, if you're giving it away as a raffle prize for your local rugby club, it's more difficult then. But as long as you're seen to be chasing it up, then I think you're doing the right thing. I once did a promotion gift vouchers, which was part of the gym and the gym I was working in. We sort of did a half and half. And about 14 months later, somebody said, I've got a gift voucher to see you. I said, well, I don't know where that could come from because I haven't issued them for about 18 months or so. And they said it was from a gym. And I said, well, that was a promotion where they funded half and I funded half. And I said, I feel a little bit guilty about this, but I didn't get paid for that. It was just something that was a promotion that was really unsuccessful. But I said, what I'm willing to do is give you a half-price treatment and honour my half of that. And they came in for a half-price treatment. And as a result of that, he booked in his workforce, 11 employees, to come in once a month. So just making that gesture does pay dividends in the end.
Honesty.
Did somebody just say honesty?
Honesty.
Was it honesty? Yeah. I like. I think sometimes I'll say we because I'm saying me and other people I know, but we can be really guilty about not chasing things up. We have these great ideas, we put this great information out there, and then we just let it go. Or we've got customers who haven't been in for a while and we're not really on top of it, and we're not calling them up again, and we're not giving out the right cards to the right people at the right time of year and stuff. So chasing up, Nikki Mansfield says, I think chasing them up, sending them a reminder is a brilliant way of avoiding the awkward conversation when they try and redeem them a year later. Are they that effective, do you think? I always got the impression, I don't know, I never did a study or anything on it or kind of marked it down, but I always found that in your mind, you think a gift voucher is a lovely way of meeting a new person who normally wouldn't be coming to you. And this is it now. You can show them how great you are and show them how lovely it is. And then they're going to come back. But I never found that was really the case. And it just felt like I was kind of like giving a free hour away or something, or half price hour. What, in your experience, has anyone found that gift cards and it's something you really use a lot in your clinic?
I think
the right way?
they're a really good idea. And the reason why they're a really good idea is because you get paid up front.
Mm-hmm.
So your positive cash flow. Now, 6 months down the line, you've got that money using towards whatever you want to use it towards. It's your positive cash flow. So you're not waiting for the money to come in. So I think that's a really big plus for gift vouchers.
That's good, isn't it? It's you're getting the cash if you're the boss, but if you're working for somebody and you didn't get paid until that person comes in.
Right, yeah. That's not quite so attractive, of course, to
That's what I meant about, oh, great, Matt, you've got like someone's come with a gift voucher, and then you only get 50% for that, but it's a great opportunity, great lead. It's like, yeah, right. The person doesn't even want to be here. They're not even injured. They're just coming because the wife's pushing them. But yeah, I can see from a business
I think they tend to work better, Matt. You always see it in Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, etc. They tend to be very sort of seasonal, but I think they tend to work better in a sort of spa, holistic type environment rather than a remedial type environment.
That may well be the case. Yeah, good point. Cool. Okay. Well, look, 8:59 now. There's a few questions which we haven't managed to get to, but that's the way it goes, I'm afraid. So apologies to anybody who did email me, and I said we'll get your question out, but I will add them to next month's, or maybe I'll pass them on to, if it was somebody from the STA, maybe I'll feed them over to Scott Loynes for the coffee chat or something. Be something you can bring up there and have a chat about. Any idea when the next coffee chat is, Gary?
It will be a week on Wednesday, a week tomorrow.
A week tomorrow, Wednesday. Fantastic. Good. Okay. That is 9 o'clock on the dot, people. So thank you everyone who joined us. I think the Facebook event marketing idea I had at work quite well. We had quite a few people coming along tonight, so that was nice to see you all here. Makes it a bit easier maybe if there's an event, and it gives you a bit more of a reminder. So thank you people for joining us. Nice to see some new faces in here. If you're listening to the podcast and it's made you think, oh yeah, I'd like to go along there and share some of the live lounge and ask questions myself, then all you need to do first of the month is go along to the Sports Therapy Association YouTube channel at 8 o'clock, and this is what we do for the first of the month. The other 3 Tuesdays, like I said, are going to be about the very interesting topic of artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, which is an area I've started reading up on. I've avoided it like the plague because I just didn't want something else to look at on the screen. But when you look into it, it's the future, and there's actually quite a lot of benefits and ways it can, in theory, make your life better until it does turn into an all-consuming monster with tentacles and basically turn us onto robots. So make hay whilst the sun shineth, I think will be the message over the next 3 episodes, and here's how to do it. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then do come along to the live lounge if you like, Tuesday 8 o'clock. But for now, thank you everyone who's joined us speaker-wise. Gary, thanks very much for coming along, and Benjamin Mace-Crossley and Ryan Smith and Tim Allardyce. And also Simon Webster, unfortunately, had a power cut or something. I had to leave halfway through, but he's in the chat now. So thanks for joining us, Simon. And we will be back next Tuesday, like I say. And if you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a rating and a review. Any further words, Gary, in terms of anything specific for STA members, or newsletters gone out? Loads of information.
Yeah,
on that?
newsletter went out today. So to your registered email address, but Jake's also linked it in the members group as well, so you can check it there.
And as always, if you don't get it, then please check your spam folder and add it as a safe address. That's been the message for the last, however long the STA has been going. Right, people, thanks again. People who joined us at the live lounge, thanks for joining us and asking questions in there. We will see you all very soon. Take care.
Ta-ra.
See ya.